Hi, good morning. I just entered the national park, the Hoge Veluwe, and this national park is like 50 minutes drive from Hilversum. It's also a bit centrally located in the middle of our country, and it's a very large national park. It's about 50 square kilometers, has about 30 kilometers of bike trail, hiking all over, although only on the trails. And it has animals, it has a visitor center, museums, and I'll show you all. As you can see on this Tuesday morning, there's plenty of bicycles left. All of them carry a child seat on the back, and they have seat posts that go up, and I'll show you how I did mine. The rule is that if a bicycle is placed in a parking lot like this, you can grab it. People left it behind. But if you ever walk somewhere along a trail and there's a lonely bike against a tree, leave it there, because then it's somebody's hiking and you're not supposed to take it away because the person is coming back. But in a parking lot you can take them. Oh, and here, the child's bike. A nice thing to start with, and I just left the bike park, is the fact that you see the ground around me is totally black. And somebody turned it all over. I can see the footprints, and these are all the wild boars. They come out when it's about dawn or dusk at the end of the day, and that is one of the 5 big game animals that live here in the national park. You have big deer, doe deer, wild boar, mouflon, which is like a kind of a goat with a lovely corns on its head. Big grazers like the Scottish Highlander cows. Foxes, badgers, any insect, reptiles, birds, many animals. Where I entered the park was in the northeast, in Hoenderloo, and I paid my ticket there. I bought it online actually. It's about 10 euros, and you pay for the parking fee. Then you can grab a free white bicycle. It's also okay to bring your own bike. I don't mind using the white bikes they offer, and they're pretty comfortable. What you can do is cycle around, visit the park and see all the different landscapes. There's lots of deciduous trees. The colors of the leaves are beautiful at the moment. Lots of pine woods, but also drift sands, and all these sand fields, those are a fact because the people that came to live here in the Middle Ages cut down woods. They needed that to burn in the little houses, in the little businesses they had, to make charcoal, for example. And the animals, their sheep, maybe their cows, did so much grazing that the bare sands were open again and drift sands were a fact. Lots of sandy areas. Still today, only in the 1900s people came back and started to make the trees grow here again. So what you see here is not so much, actually never in the Netherlands, nature, but planted and touched by humans. Maybe after that, the seeds of the new flowers and new trees started drifting, but certainly it has been touched by human beings. At this moment you don't see a lot of hills yet. If you look at the map, you see where the ice was in the Ice Age. That they pushed the land to the side, and we are now like in the inside on the west slope. So if we go more east, and I saw it when I arrived by car, it was really hilly, rolling, beautiful autumn colors. I found I was in Germany or Belgium actually, for a fact. We are definitely here above sea level, and if you would go near to Rotterdam, then you have areas that are 7 meters below, and here the highest mountain is about 50 meters high. And a beautiful lane of beech trees. Here we come at the Museum, which is also the visitor center, and a free nature museum included in your ticket. And what I really like and remember from when I was young and visiting is that here they have a tree. You can walk under the tree roots, and it's 135 years old. So I have arrived at the visitor center in the Museum, and I'm parking my bike now, and maybe I'll find my own bike back, and otherwise I'll find another one. There's plenty. I also see a large parking lot here, so people do come in their own car, and there's a rental place for bikes, and there's also bakfietsen. So if you come with smaller kids and you don't like the seats on the back, then that might be a good option. Coffee time! Here you can see the whole map of the national park, and if I go closer, then you can see that here I am. I just had a coffee at the park pavilion. Even in corona time it was a coffee to go. I did enter here at Hoenderloo. There I could buy my ticket. Then all the yellow lines, I think, are the bike trails. Yep, no, the cars, sorry, and the green are the bike trails. I will go after this, have a little visit just here to see the sand. Then bike up again to the former hunting lodge, Sint-Hubertus. Passing down through Krullenmüller, where you can find lots of Van Gogh. Otterlo, that is the west entry, and all the way to the south you have the entry Schaarsbergen, and that is a bit north of Arnhem. This area is fenced off, and on the north side it's not so far from the freeway. There it's still a high fence with nature bridges connecting it to nature on the other side of the freeway. But on the sides the fences have been lowered because the Veluwe is part of a national ecological zone, and the deer and the doe have to be able to migrate and run around and go out as well. So for the moment I let my bike at the parking and start to do a little hike, and this all the different routes you can follow. No way to get lost. You can truly see the print of the hoofs of all the wild boar, and these wild boar are looking for something good they like to eat along all the sides of the trails. And if you see the ground being totally messed up, it's the wild boars that have visited. And not only here, even in the area, people living in the Veluwe area region, they have them visiting their gardens. And it's not funny, of course, when they just dig up your tulips that you just put in the soil. Well, just a few minutes walk away from the National Park Information Center. I'm here at the Franse Berg, the French mountain, and that is the highest point here of 50 meters. And I see here behind me also a white bicycle, which I'm not supposed to take because, of course, somebody's hiking and expecting it back. There's grass, some pine trees, and the big hill here next to me, the French hill. And the French mountain, actually it's called the Franse Berg, very likely has its name because of the fact that in the 1672 we had a year of disasters, and it was the French occupation, which lasted about a year and a half. And this was a place in this region to stand on the lookout if the French troops would be coming, because that meant trouble. Henrietta Müller and Anton Kruller, they lived around the 1900s. And for a few decades they started to buy, like 1909 till 1921, they started to buy little pieces of land in this region of the Veluwe. Little estates, little farms with soil, and these grounds they put together as their private hunting grounds. They set out wildlife, including kangaroos. Well, I guess they had a good time, and they were known, they were collectors of art, they traveled. They had a very tight connection with the Boeren, the former Dutch Boeren, the settlement, the people in South Africa. And there's like monuments dedicated to this South African people, the President Steyn and also Generaal de Wet. Henrietta, she collected so much art, Van Gogh, Picasso, many of these famous artists, and she wanted to make a museum. It has been started, the building, but well, in the 30s their good life kind of well, went down. They needed to sell everything. Her museum never got there. All this land has been sold happily to the Dutch state. It was more of an emergency action. Nobody could or wanted to buy it, not Natuurmonumenten, and it was in the end the Dutch state that bought it. This private park, the national park, the Hoge Veluwe, became a fact in 1935, and still today they have to make their own money. They do that by still doing forestry in this area. They still do hunt deer and the other game, just to keep the numbers fair to the amount of ground they have to their to roam around and to live in. And it is the people, the tourists, that visit, and that is why this is the only national park in the Netherlands where you have to pay an entry fee for. Going up the French mountain. Funnily enough, I've never walked here in the national park. I've been guiding these cycle trips for years, and we biked through with our groups of tourists, which was really beautiful. But then here, walking is better. Not many people on the trail, and I discovered the grave of Henrietta and Anton. Here they are. And this is where they are together. Beautiful view. She passed away in 1939, he passed away in 1941, overlooking the large plain with all the wild animals, probably in the evenings and early mornings. Well, I totally feel like staying here, and there's a trail to the left and this trail, and this is going to lead somewhere into the valley, to the depth. This Franse Berg, this mountain, is 20 meters high and still 50 meters above sea level. And interesting that this is only 20 meters, because it's really going to go down. And as you can see, my little steps are kind of sandy. Thank you for all this devastating work of the wild boars, very likely. Not to forget the erosion when it's raining. Woo! So this is better, walking next to the stairs. You can see the fence behind me, and that is the backyard of the statue garden of the Krullenmuller. Well, how nice to show you a little bit of the statue garden. We are totally at the backyard. This is, so far I've never walked when I was in the museum. This is one of the largest statue gardens of Europe. More than 160 sculptures are here on exhibition, and you can find them from Martha Pan, Dubuffet, Rodin, and of course many more, and a lovely place to wander around.